Let me be your leader.
All right, okay, hold on. I give up. I'm Peter, that's Emily. She's in China, and we're giving up, COVID. You've won. You've finally beaten us. It's been 3 years almost since the beginning, and we've evaded it. I feel like I've been evaded like since the 80s. I grew up on like zombie movies and things were trying to escape the pandemic. Like I had to move all the way to China, and here we are on a roof in the middle of a city, if you're in the West, you've never heard of.
You've probably heard of Chongqing if you're from China.
But you may have never been here.
You may have never been here.
And you've never been on this roof.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee that.
Yes, and we're gonna put up a flag here that says, I give up. I give up COVID.
Yeah, so COVID's legal here now. We're not doing lockdowns, none of that.
We're free.
And it's a little bit confusing because I feel like we've been playing the world's most deadliest game of the floor is lava for the past 3 years. And then we just threw up our hands and said, nah, the floor's not lava. We're fine.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that situation. I've been trained to stay off the floor.
Yeah.
I've been trained to stay inside. Yeah. And now
So we did.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, all of our friends went out last weekend and got COVID. In fact, one of our friends said, well, anyone who's anyone got COVID. If you didn't, you're a loser.
Now we're unfashionable. It's like we can't win no matter which way we go. We tried so hard. We tried to follow all the rules. We did what we were told.
I mean, following the rules is never going to result in fashionability.
Yeah,
that was our first mistake. Mm-hmm. I mean, the bummer is we were going to have a big comedy show this weekend.
The first in a while.
Yeah, in a long time because of COVID.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the change in legal status, let's say, does not actually change the situational status because 3 out of 5 of the performers have COVID and this one doesn't want COVID.
Yeah, I don't want COVID. I thought that was like the goal was so that none of us would get sick. And then the world went out and got sick and we have managed to spend the entire time in China and not get sick. And then now here we are on the precipice, the end of the world, sitting on the ledge, going like, well, you better get the COVID now or else you're just a flat-out loser.
The stupidest game of peer pressure.
I know. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this other than I'm going to have a cold.
Yeah.
And I'm not whining oh, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. Fuck you.
I'm not taking this guy to the hospital anymore.
Son of a bitch, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick of sick.
And I have, it's cold up here, so my eye is dripping. Mm-hmm. I'm not crying and I'm not sick, but I could be.
Yeah.
Well, it is like the contrarian in me is like, I'll show you, I'll never get COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, out of spite, the entire freaking world. Yeah. I'm not going to get sick.
But I've had to reinvent like, well, how am I going to go to the bar and do comedy sets with a mask on? I need to invent like a mask with a straw.
Ooh. Yeah.
Or some kind of like fishbowl helmet, just pour the drinks in. Mm-hmm. This sounds like a different kind of torture.
Yeah, it's not practical. Let's just face that right off the bat.
It's not practical. Nothing is practical.
The bottom line is this whole situation for the past few years has just not been good for comedy, which is the only important thing that we were trying to really work through here. How do you start a Western comedy group in English in China?
Yeah.
When everyone keeps getting some kind of pandemic.
This is inconvenient already.
It's terribly inconvenient.
Come on,
I wish somebody would do something about this. The governments have failed us on every move that we possibly.
And I mean, like at this point, we're again like the whole world had this happen like 2 years ago when you all said, "Fuck it." The floor's not lava. We're going outside. Mm-hmm. But like I haven't ever seen anyone have COVID. Like my family in the US has, and they all said, oh, it's just like a cold. But our friends who have it here, it does not sound good. Mm. I've heard the phrase motor oil farts used.
Yep. You ever heard that? That must be nice.
The pain in your bones means it's working.
Mm-hmm. Comment below if you've had pains in your bones.
And I think maybe our vaccine isn't that good.
So that brings up, should we get another vaccine?
Yes.
Yes, we should.
That's the answer is yes.
Well,
Emily in China is pro vaccination.
But when do we get it though? Now I don't want to leave the house right away. Because let's just give some time. Let's see.
We'll give everyone.
It's quiet out.
Everyone who's going to get it gets 2 weeks to get it and get over it. Develop some additional immunities.
And then report back to us.
Yeah, I've moved halfway across the world to develop agoraphobia.
Yes.
That's the upshot. Is we're not really leaving the house.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that everything is possible. I'm not going to just go walk out into a pandemic fest of like people running around.
Pandemic Fest 2020.
Sponsored? Yeah.
What year is it?
I don't know. I lost track. So we went to the pharmacy today.
Oh yeah, because my Chinese tutor was like, you have medicine on hand, right? You should go get medicine. And she taught me. Oh, now I'm blanking on it. 备药, which means to prepare medicine, to have medicine on hand.
Do that.
And that's what everybody's been thinking. So the pharmacy is sold out. So we have, I do have the apocalypse stockpile of antibiotics from before, but I don't think that'll help. It's a virus, not bacteria, so antibiotics. It's your science lesson for today.
Take that. So that's the exciting thing about this situation, is that it's always changing, it's always new, and we don't know from day to day what's going to happen. And that's the fun of it, is you don't know how your life is going to go.
Because if humans are good at any two things, it's uncertainty and constant change.
It doesn't actually wear on your nerves. It keeps
it's not stressful at all.
It keeps you sharp. It keeps you on edge.
It keeps you strong. Where
does this leave us? We relied on people with power to tell us what we should do with our lives.
And they, frankly, abused that power.
Would you have been happier to have gotten sick a long time ago?
I don't know, because a big factor in my leaving the kindergarten job is that I was getting colds from the kids all the time. So even if COVID is just a cold, like, that's not pleasant. And since I teach adults, and now since I teach online, I get sick like never, which is glorious.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
So we've managed,
uncertain times ahead.
We've managed to stay pretty darn healthy throughout the entire time of COVID. Then to hit the end wall.
Yeah.
And not to say that this is the end, but like.
Nice knowing ya.
See ya.
Just keep your eyes open, I guess. Every man for themselves.
If it's going to be the end, like, let's go out in some kind of big, spectacular Mata Hoople extravaganza.
Mata Hoople.
Yeah.
All the young dudes.
All of them. And how would you like to say sayonara to the whole human race as you die of COVID?
So I've got a pitch. I've got a movie pitch.
Okay.
So we have a person or a group of people going through some body changes, and they're convinced it's like this is their Spider-Man moment. They're developing superpowers, but what they really have is COVID psychosis and I guess I just pitched a zombie movie.
Crap. Those have been done, a couple of them.
But they're popular.
Is this like a body horror type of? Are their bodies actually going to change and mutate, or is this a gory zombie, or is this dead, or is it just dead-eyed?
I think it's more psychological, mostly because I don't like gore. I don't like gross.
So this is like allegory, like that we're in an office and you realize your life is a dead-end space, and so you want to find adventure in the world.
Yeah, and you're excited initially, and you convince yourself these changes are positive, but really it means you're dying.
Yeah. What if we put a spin on that?
Contact
my
agent.
Some kind of like last little spin on it, like.
Maybe what the Chongqing twist is: spicy food protects you.
Yes.
So everyone who can eat Chongqing is largely untouched, and they figure out it's the spice.
Yeah.
And everybody in the world has to learn how to eat spicy food.
That totally ties in. That's why we spent all this time. We moved all the way to China. We moved all the way to Chongqing. We didn't know it, but deep in our souls, from the beginning, we knew we had to move to China. We had to get the spice in us.
To get the spiciest zombie movie.
And to save the world.
On the planet. And to save the world.
We moved to Chongqing to save the world. This was a plan 12 years ago.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Tune in next time when you're going to subscribe to our show and hit the like button and eat some spice and comment to other people. Tell them.
Tell the people.
Tell them to come to Chongqing and save your life.
Don't come to Chongqing.
Don't come to Chongqing.
to keep your virus outside.
You got a sore throat? Okay, you having a hard time breathing? Are you okay? Are we? Oh!